Hello everyone and welcome to Rad Chat Live at UKIO. My name is Namanjot Anderson, joined by fellow host Joe McNamara.
Hi everyone.
So we've got another lovely guest here. Would you like to introduce yourself please?
Hi everyone, I'm Rachael Hilton. I'm the co-clinical director of the Southwest Imaging Training Academy.
So it sounds very, very posh, your title. What is your career background?
So I'm a radiographer by background. I've been a radiographer now for 22 years. So I started out as a general radiographer doing rotational work, CT, interventional, cath lab, and then I later specialised in trauma. So I'm a reporting radiographer and I managed the emergency department for X-ray, which I absolutely love that job. Just loved it. It's busy, it's full on, but it's great. And then from there I progressed to become the lead radiographer for the department that I worked in, and really enjoyed that. Had a bit of a secondment out to commission our new urgent treatment centre at the time that was being built, and then went back to imaging. And then last year, about 13 months ago, I was successful to become the co-clinical director of the academy. So that's it in a bit of a nutshell.
Amazing.
So you said A&E was your favourite. Was that definitely your favourite modality if you ever had to go back full-time clinical?
So I really love the cath lab. Really loved working in cardiology. Love the multidisciplinary aspect. I did really enjoy CT, but it's just kind of, I find that sort of you just get a bit more time with your patients. So I definitely go back to trauma work because I like the collaboration that you have with the A&E department, the consultants, the nurse practitioners. You're able to share your learning, you're able to pass on knowledge, and then obviously the cath lab side, just that multidisciplinary, you get to learn how other professions work, you get to collaborate, and you learn a lot from each other. So I just kind of like that multidisciplinary environment where you get to mix.
So tell us about the Training Academy. What is it?
So the Training Academy is commissioned by NHS England, and we're there to support the workforce training education for the imaging workforce, but also the multidisciplinary workforce as well. So obviously we know imaging spans hugely, it goes massively into the diagnostic spaces as well, so you think about echo and things like that. So we're here with funding that we get from the CAD programme to help support that through training grants. So for reporting radiography, our sonographer workforce, and we also offer upskilling grants to be able to upskill the workforce to be able to support service delivery and deal with the demands of the NHS.
So what's the plans for it to continue? Or are there plans? Any more areas you're going to look into?
Oh, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? So at the moment we have funding for this financial year, for 25-26. Sort of over the last 6 months we have been having task and finish groups with the national team, and the hope is that they will bring together some funding to sustain sort of the core workforce so we can continue to deliver workforce and education. That plan is sort of, obviously it's up in the air, we obviously don't know what's happening, but that's what we're working towards at the moment. So we very much hope that we can continue on this path. We're really passionate about what we deliver, the team's really passionate about what they deliver, and we know that we need to invest in our workforce to retain them going forward.
What would you say has been the biggest impact that you've seen as a consequence of the Academy?
So I think for me, being able to take having been a service lead, being able to take the pressure off the service lead. So when I trained as a reporting radiographer many years ago, you know, you would have to go and find a radiologist, and they're very supportive, but ultimately you're taking time out of their day when they've also got demands. So as the Academy for the reporting programme, we've taken that pressure away. So any of the learners that actually are on the programme, they spend 1 day a week with the reporting team where they will do OSCEs, they'll go through film packs, they'll cover topics that they're maybe not sure about, and it aligns with the HEI content. So we've had some really positive feedback from the learners, we've had some positive feedback from the service leads, to the extent where they thought that they would never be able to complete the reporting programme if they didn't have the support of SWITR. So I think being able to take that pressure off the departments, and being able to say, well, we'll happily support them, obviously you need to support them to release them, but absolutely we can give them that extra educational time, we can do some restorative clinical supervision, we can bring them into the community of practice space. They've got that resource available to them.
It's just about providing opportunities, isn't it?
Yep.
Really? I think
Absolutely.
at the moment the NHS, we know it's stretched and people are struggling to go to conferences, etc. But having this sort of safe space is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they then get to meet other people in the region, they get to build their network, they get to share their experiences, and if they've got challenges, they've got a safe space that they can raise it. And I think it's just a fantastic opportunity, and I wish it was available when I was sort of going through my early stages in my career, because there is so much support out there now. And there was support there before, but I think it's just accessible in a very different way. There's different resources available. So I think that's great. And particularly with sonography, we know that obviously it takes 2 years to train to become a sonographer if you're doing the diploma. And obviously just being able to provide some extra training outside to build that confidence and competence. So when they qualify as a sonographer, their preceptorship period is much, much easier. The transition is a lot easier for them as well.
Have you seen any therapeutic radiographers going into this sonography training programme?
So not directly that I've had experience with, but we sort of made some contacts this year, and they do some sort of some sonography sort of within the therapy space. I do know of a sonographer that's gone into the cardiology space and become an echocardiographer. And obviously there's a lot more sort of availability now, and we're currently having conversations about sort of more specialists in obstetrics and fetal medicine to be able to give that upskilling opportunity. So I think as people become more aware that funding is available, actually services are able to sort of evaluate and say, well, actually, if we upskill this sonographer into this speciality, how it's going to shorten that patient pathway, maybe stop a referral to a specialist centre because they can deal with it there and then. So I think it is becoming so much more widely understood, and obviously we want to get out there more and promote what the Imaging Academy is doing, because we know that also there are pockets where it isn't fully understood.
Can I ask a controversial question? And it's probably because of my ignorance of being a therapeutic radiographer, so I apologise in advance. But should it not be part of pre-registration experience that everyone qualifies being able to report? Or is it that you need that clinical experience and time to develop the skills to then go on to reporting?
I think when you're training, so many years ago when I trained, you would train, so from a diagnostic perspective, you would train to be able to recognise a fracture, to recognise a pathology, and we would do what we call the red dot system. So you'd red dot the film, you make a comment, it makes the clinician aware. Similarly, now we've got PCE, which preliminary clinical evaluation, which we can train people to. It's not a formal report, but it kind of gives that clinician some more detail. As a reporting radiographer, if you think about consultant radiologists and how long they train, you have to be able to understand and recognise so much more pathology and recognise so many more fractures and the impact on that will have on the patient pathway. So actually when I did my reporting, someone said to me before, doing a reporting course will make you a better radiographer. In relation to sort of what you think about your image quality, what you think you can achieve, if you can get a better image, if you can sort of achieve that higher level of diagnostic image quality. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll sort of go with it. And then actually when I became a reporting radiographer through my journey, I was like, wow, okay, I have learned a lot more. I'm much more aware of things that I probably wasn't aware of as a sort of post-qualification radiographer. So I think, doing post-qualification just generally makes you a better radiographer, because you're increasing your knowledge and understanding. You're going up to that next level, which that you can't cover in an undergraduate degree.
Thanks very much for coming on.
It's all right. Thank you for having me.
Not quite as scary as you thought, is it?
No, not at all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.